Welcome to Hypnosis Health Info. I'm Roger Moore. This past year, again, I've had the privilege and the honor of helping out with the boys' high school lacrosse team and teaching them how to use the power of their mind to focus and overcome fears and to build their self-confidence and how to just to get out there in the field and being in that place of relaxed and yet totally focused and totally energized. And a story that I always tell the boys at the beginning of every year is about a green dragon. And last week I was talking with one of the guys individually, and he reminded me of the story, and we were talking about, because the teams are going into playoffs now, or are in playoffs, and so far have been winning, and they have a playoff game tomorrow night, and assuming they win that, then Saturday they go to the state championship. And the teams that they're going up against now are two pretty well-known teams. They have big guys and very well experienced, and Bainbridge has an excellent reputation across as well. And we were talking about the fears of going up against these big names, and this young man said, well, the deal is that these other guys, they put on their pants one leg at a time the same way we do. And it's just like that story about the green dragon of inside is just another boy. And if you're not familiar with the story of the green dragon, it's just one of my favorite metaphors. It's a story that I tell lots of people for lots of different situations. But basically it's about a little boy. He was very rich. And he was so rich that he had a large room that was just for all his toys and all his treasures. It was filled with all kinds of toys and treasures, and he'd go in there every day and he'd play with his toys and treasures. And you'd think he'd be a very happy little boy with so many toys and so many treasures, but actually that wasn't the case at all. He was really a very sad little boy, because there in this room, back in the corner, behind all the heaped up toys, sat a large green dragon. And he was terrified of this dragon, and no matter where he went in the room, the green dragon eyes would follow him. And he'd laugh and play and sing and shout and dance very hard, trying to overcome his fear of the dragon. And no matter what he did, when he stopped, he'd look over in the corner, and there'd be that green dragon still staring at him, still looking very, very menacing. And the little boy would sit down feeling very sad and be very, very dejected. And every night the little boy would wake up in the middle of the night with nightmares, screaming, crying about the green dragon, and he was afraid to tell anybody about his nightmares because he was afraid the green dragon would get him if he told. And one day this little rich boy had a friend come and visit, and this little boy was his very same age and size, and the little boy, this visitor, his friend, was running around this room. He was so excited about all these toys and treasures. He's laughing and picking up this one and that one and playing and clapping his hands, and much to his horror, to the horror of the little rich boy, the friend ran over and jumped on top of the green dragon. And the little rich boy said, "No, don't do that." And his friend said, "Well, why not?" The little rich boy said, "Because he's such a fierce and ugly dragon. I'm sure he'll try to harm you. I know he tries to harm me." The friend looked at him and went, "Dude, look at this." And he turned the dragon so the little rich boy could see, and there down the back of the dragon was a long, shiny zipper. And the little rich boy just looked at him with awe and amazement, and the friend said, you want to see? And the little rich boy said, I'm not sure. And the friend said, "Nonsense," and he unzipped the dragon. And the whole dragon's green suit fell down. And guess what was in there? Another little boy. And this little boy jumped up laughing and clapping and just having a good time and saying, "Ha, I've had so much fun spooking you and making you afraid." And the little rich boy was just indignant. He says, "Why would you do this?" And the former dragon said, "Well, if you didn't have any dragons amongst all your toys, how would you know how lucky you are? And the little rich boy stamped his foot and said, "That's nonsense, that's nonsense. That was so mean of you to be a dragon and zip yourself up in a dragon suit. And here you are. You're just another little boy like me." Well, after some time passed, the three boys actually became friends. And they started playing together, and they acknowledged that playing dragon was fun, and it actually became one of their favorite games. They'd take turns zipping themselves up in the dragon suit. And they pretended to kill the dragon pretended to kill them, and they just had a lot of fun playing dragon. It was one of their favorite games. And soon more little boys and girls heard about the dragon suit, and they wanted to come and play the dragon game, and they did. And the little rich boy was happy because now he could play with all his toys and share them with his friends. And he loved having new friends come and play the dragon game. Now some kids would come to play the dragon game and say, "Where can I get a dragon suit for myself?" And the little rich boy would say, "Well, you can make one up. That's what I did. Only I didn't know it had a zipper, and the whole dragon suit can come off." So folks, here's the deal. We create our fears. And inside of our fears, inside of our dragons, are just other aspects of ourselves that are spooking us. Stuff that we've made up about how scary or how freaky a situation is. And that's what I was reminded of by this young man. He said, we can go in and we can be the dragons, or we can go in and be the scared little boy. And that's what I reminded the guys of last night when I met with them for a few minutes before practice, was that they had a choice to make. If they really wanted to win state championship, if they really wanted this, then they had to overcome their fears. And they had to go in and they had to be the dragon. And that, the opposing teams probably are coming into this game thinking they already got it, that they're going to walk all over Bainbridge. And I said, that's a great thing to your advantage, because you can go out there, you can choose to go out there, and you can go out there as bigger dragons. You can be stronger, you can be fiercer, you can be more aggressive, you can be louder, and scare them, walk over them, and win this lacrosse game. Or I suppose you could choose to go out and be the timid little boy and let them walk all over you. What's most important, and the thing that I always drive home to kids, is you go out there and you play your heart out, you play your best, you be your best, and you come home feeling really proud of yourself. Whether you win or lose, you go play your best, you overcome your fears, and you go win. And one of the things I love working with these guys, and it seems like especially this year, is I see them on the street or in the store or before practice, after practice, wherever, and they'll ask me questions about things we've talked about. A couple weeks ago, or a month or so ago, we talked about Napoleon Hill and mastermind groups, and ever since then, one of the great things these guys have been doing is they've been pairing up and they've been doing a mastermind thing about how they're going to go out and play the game and win the game. And they've stepped it up since doing that, since they've rehearsed and heard it fed back to them of how they played a winning game, how they scored, how they got the ball, how they handled their face-offs. And it's just really helped them. And what I love is that they're asking me questions about that. They're asking me questions about how to use self-hypnosis and the other tools that I've taught them for focus. So I encourage you to take these tools that are available to you here at Hypnosis Health Info. Look up there in the orange menu bar under self-hypnosis, and all the other places where there's tools here. Check out the store and the article library. And put these tools to work in your life. Overcome your fears. Take on your dragons or become the dragon. And if I can be a support, either here in my Bainbridge Island office or over in Seattle in the medical dental building in my Seattle office, or I have clients in several states and several countries via Skype, if I can be a support to you, then give me a call at 206-903-1232 or send me an email, Roger@hypnosishealthinfo.com, and let me know how to support you. I'm Roger Moore, and this is Hypnosis Health Info.